Good afternoon, folks. I'm Grant Cohn. I cover the San Francisco 49ers for the Santa Rosa Press Democrat and Associated Press. The 49ers play the game of the year on Sunday. I'm going to show you what to look for, what to watch for. Seahawks won the first matchup in Week 10. Both teams have changed a lot since then. But whichever team wins this game has basically the inside track to the Super Bowl, especially the Niners. If they win the game, first seed, bye week, home field advantage, inside track to the Super Bowl. If they lose, wildcard team would probably have to play 3 straight road games just to make the Super Bowl. That would be as much as 12,000 air miles round trip, which is halfway around the world. It can't be done. I'm saying it right now, it can't be done. You could do it maybe if you're a Midwestern team or an East Coast team because those trips are closer together, but a West Coast team, it's never been done. It can't be done. The Niners have to win this game, and I'm going to show you basically what they need to do to win it. They lost the first one at home, and really it was a chess match between
Shanahan and Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll won it. And I'm going to show you what he did here. This is the third quarter, and this is where Pete Carroll really dominated. In the second half, the Niners only gained 3.2 yards per play. Garoppolo's completion percentage was 46, and his quarterback rating was 41.8. Carroll adjusted to Shanahan's offense completely and shut it down. Took away the run game, made the Niners one-dimensional pass-first offense. Here's what they did. You see right here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 on the line. Outside linebacker right here. Inside linebacker, and a safety. This safety is going to come around here and sprint unblocked right at the running back, stop him from behind after a gain of only 3. When you look, I'll show you. I'm going to freeze it right before the snap. I mean, this is the Seahawks adjustment to the Niners offense. This is a statement they're making to the Niners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across the line and 2 linebackers. Essentially just what the Patriots did to the Rams in the Super Bowl. The Niners and Rams have slightly different offenses, but it's the same philosophy. Run first, play action second. And with this message they're telling the Niners is no run, no play action, no run. We're taking away the run. You can't do that. You have to pass. One way or another, you got to pass because we don't think you can beat us that way. This is 1st and 10. They run a little outside zone play with a pitch to the left into a front that is built to stop the run. As you can see, 30 sneaks around, as I said, comes over here. You got 6 across the line. No one blocks him. And he just sprints right at 22. Breida. This is Bradley McDougald, the strong safety for the Seahawks. And that's pretty much how the second half went, including overtime. The Niners couldn't run the ball well. They were one-dimensional. And what the Seahawks wanted to do is basically get the Niners out of this formation, personnel grouping. This is what the Niners, this is their what you would call their identity. 1 tight end, 1 fullback, 1 running back, two wide receivers. This is where they're most comfortable in. This is where all of their best run plays come from. This is where their play action shot plays come from. Their explosive plays. The Seahawks want to get the Niners into shotgun. Shut this down, pretty much concede the run game, put Garoppolo back here, put 3 wide receivers out here and throw the ball around. Garoppolo's terrific in the shotgun. His quarterback rating is 107. Better in the shotgun than under center, but the Niners offense isn't as explosive from the shotgun because those play action fakes from the shotgun really don't move the defense very much. You don't get those downfield plays. You want to get the Niners in the shotgun, make them execute those long drives as opposed to the quick hitters. So the Seahawks put 6 across the line, and the Niners really capitulated and said, you know what? We don't believe in the identity of our offense in this game. You beat us. We're going to go to offense number B. Offense B. Offense 2. The secondary, what we don't want to do as much, and that's pass the ball around the rest of the second half. So the Niners capitulated. The Seahawks defense dictated to the Niners. But Kyle Shanahan's defense, if you notice, who's the tight end? It's Ross Dwelly, not George Kittle. Nothing against Ross Dwelly, but George Kittle didn't play in this game. He's the best player on the offense. Also in the second half, Emmanuel Sanders was mostly out. He had broken his ribs earlier in the game. So this particular defensive game plan may not work as well against the Niners in the second game this upcoming Sunday, and it may not even be what the Seahawks do. They may update their defensive game plan to account for Kittle. I want to show you what they may do. It's really, I'm looking at week 15 against the Falcons because they had a different plan against the Niners, and their head coach is Dan Quinn, who is a disciple of Pete Carroll. So this was really interesting to me. Pete Carroll, he put 6 across the line, 2 linebackers to stop the run. Dan Quinn has the same idea, but with just a different formation. Look at this. You got 1, 2, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back, no fullback. What Kyle Shanahan's trying to do is open up some space to run the ball, try to get the Falcons to match up with these wide receivers by putting in more defensive backs and just get more room to run. Again, this is 1st and 10. Shanahan wants to run the ball on 1st and 10. But what's interesting is the Falcons, again, they don't match up. Their attitude is, you're a run-first team. We're taking that run away, especially on 1st down. So what you got here is linebacker, 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 4 linebackers, 4 defensive linemen, only 3 defensive backs against 11 personnel. You never, ever see that in the NFL. This is really a slap in the face to the 49ers and saying, we know you don't want to pass the ball. We know you don't want to drop back and pass the ball on 1st and 10, but we're going to make you. Linebacker, 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 4 defensive linemen. You got to pass into this. It's just a slap in the face. We don't respect your passing game. We are taking away your running game. You can't run into this look. Hold on. Let me get you the... But they run anyway. And this is what happens when you get all these big players right around the line of scrimmage. There's no cutback lane. There's no hole. There's nothing. It's a no-gain run for Matt Breida. So this is what I think the Seahawks may do instead of what they did week 10. Instead of putting all these guys on the line of scrimmage, you could put 5 instead of 6 and have linebackers behind them. And what's interesting about this, they covered George Kittle with the linebacker the whole game, and I think the idea is if you put a linebacker over him here, you can match up better with Kittle as a blocker. And I think what the Falcons were saying is, look, this is a run-first team. Kittle's a great receiver, but his biggest contribution is as a blocker. He'll hurt you most as a blocker for the run game because that's what the Niners, they're a run-first team. Put a big linebacker over him. Make him less of a dominant blocker because most of his dominant blocks come against safeties and corners. Have him create a stalemate at least at the point of attack with Kittle and give up what you give up in the passing game because you want the Niners to pass anyway. That's what they did. Kittle caught a bunch of passes, but the Niners lost. So this is what I think the Seahawks may go to. A lot of linebackers, even if the Niners are in 11 personnel. Forget about it. Just like how the Patriots went to that big personnel grouping in the playoffs against the Rams who were in 11 personnel. Just like, we're not matching up. We're taking away your run game. That's what the Falcons did. I would expect that's what the Seahawks are going to do week 17 coming up on Sunday. So what are the Niners going to do to beat that? Well, this is what I would suggest. And I want to show you from the first meeting because they ran the play and it would have worked, but they didn't have George Kittle. So now that they have Kittle, what can they do to beat this specialty defense that Dan Quinn has designed particularly just to stop the Niners and that Pete Carroll could go to as well? Not running plays. I'm talking catches, Deebo Samuel. All right, this is 9:42 late in the game. Here, all right. So we got 2nd and 6. What you notice, the Seahawks come out with their 8 in the box. You got 6 on the line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 behind them. This is a cornerback. Here's your safety. 2 linebackers. 2nd and 6. They're, again, trying to stop the run. They don't respect the Niners passing game whatsoever. So what do? You do this. All these people crowd around the line of scrimmage looking to take away the run. There's something called play action. You can use it. It works. It really, really is effective against a defense that's sold out to stop the run. So they call the right play, and they get a big gain to Deebo Samuel. But if Kittle were in the game, you could get an even bigger gain here. Look at Dwelly. Play action, runs the deep over route. All these guys are looking run. They're hunting run plays. KJ Wright recognizes it's a play action and drops back and is fast enough to run with Ross Dwelly step for step. Dwelly's an excellent player. I really like Dwelly, but he's not as fast as George Kittle. Dwelly's like a 4.7 guy. Kittle's a 4.5 guy. Kittle would get open here. The mistake the Niners made against the Falcons was the same mistake they made against the Seahawks. They let the Falcons dictate to them. Once they saw that 4 linebacker, 4 defensive lineman front, the Niners were like, okay, well, we're conceding our entire 21 personnel package and going to the shotgun and seeing what we can do. We're just going to throw at Kittle all day. It didn't work. They need to maintain their identity. And you can't run into this, but what you can do is, instead of trying to spread the defense out, that's not going to work. They're going to stick with their big personnel and take away the run just like the Falcons did. Bring more blockers onto the field. Tight end, fullback. Muscle up. Give Jimmy Garoppolo more protection because the offensive linemen are struggling with their pass protection anyway. Bring in extra tight ends. Give max protection on this play action look and throw deep to Kittle. What the Niners did against the Falcons was throw a lot of screens and underneath stuff to Kittle, which is great, but it's not going to win the game. He's not going to score enough to win the game single-handedly. Get him the ball down the field because it's open. He's going to be running against linebackers. He's faster than linebackers. Give him some opportunities to make 50-yard catches, 60-yard catches, touchdown catches down the field. And I just didn't give him that opportunity against the Falcons, and it's one of the reasons they lost. I expect they'll give him plenty of those opportunities against the Seahawks on Sunday. Got to get Kittle the ball deep. That's the main adjustment Shanahan has to make against these specialty fronts designed to take away the run. Play action. Kittle deep. Don't go to the shotgun immediately and throw a bunch of underneath screen passes to Deebo Samuel and George Kittle. Max protect, extra tight ends, throw deep. All right. Now let's look at the Seahawks offense, particularly how they get their big plays. There's really 2 guys you got to worry about in their passing game. It's Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. I'm going to show you real quick the different ways that the Seahawks use those guys in terms of getting big plays on 3rd down in the red zone. Then I'm going to show you beast mode. That is Marshawn Lynch, how the Seahawks might use him and how the Raiders used him in a way the Seahawks might use him on Sunday and how he did. Spoiler, he did really, really well. And then the 2 left tackles that could potentially play against the Niners and then Russell Wilson. So real quick, I'm going to go through these. Take about 20 minutes. I already done 10. So Week 15, starting with Tyler Lockett. This is the best player, the best weapon Russell Wilson has. So I'm starting 7:37 here. This is first quarter, 7:37, 1st and 10. Wilson under center. Tyler Lockett here. DK Metcalf here. These are their 2 main guys. Metcalf goes in motion, looking like man coverage because the cornerback goes with him. But he's going to stop, and they call this a stacked set where he just stops behind the line, the wide receiver. So they're going to check out of man-to-man coverage because this little alignment is meant to beat man coverage. So right here they check to zone. It's not really that important. Play fake. All these guys step up looking for the run. Little half roll out and stop in the middle of the pocket. And what you see is it's zone. You got these 4 guys deep. 1, 2, 3, 4. DK Metcalf draws the eyes of this safety or this defensive back. Lockett runs down the field. Catches a big gainer for 32 yards. No, 44 yards. This is just one of the plays the Seahawks would like to go to on 1st and 10, but the thing about them is they take shots on 2nd down and especially 3rd down too. I'll show you that in a second, but first I want to show you, this is Lockett on 3rd down, Metcalf on 3rd down right here. Well, actually, 2nd and 15. I'm getting ahead of myself. Come on, Grant. Here we go, 5:27. This is a little bit in the red zone is what I wanted to say. So I didn't like DK Metcalf when he came out. I figured he really couldn't run a lot of routes, and he can't. He's pretty stiff, but what he can do, he does pretty well, and he's playing with Russell Wilson, who throws the prettiest deep ball in the game. They're a good pair. Once or twice a game, maybe 3 times a game, the Seahawks will give this rookie DK Metcalf an opportunity to just run deep and see if he can catch the ball over someone's head, and sometimes he does. This is 2nd and 15 in the red zone. I mean, he drops that ball a lot of the time, but they'll give him opportunities, and all he has to do is catch one of them. Real quick, run it back. He's big, he's fast, and even though he doesn't get open here, it's a touchdown. So it'll be interesting. Emmanuel Mosley did a good job against DK Metcalf on these kind of plays, week 10. This week it's going to be Ahkello Witherspoon. He's even bigger than Mosley, but Witherspoon seems to be, he struggled a little bit. His struggles have been a little overblown, but I'm curious about his confidence and how he'll do against Metcalf because he didn't play against him the first time. All right, let's go to the way they use these two receivers on third down. So let's go Lockett week 3. All right. Here we go. All right. I'm looking for 36 here. This is 3rd and 5. Saints are showing blitz. Wilson's checking to a different play. The running back is going to go out here. The wide receiver is going to come in here, basically switch places, kind of go to an empty backfield. Saints change the play too. They're checking right here to a different coverage. They're figuring the ball is going to go to the running back out here on a screen. So they check to cover 2, which is 5 underneath defenders and only 2 safeties deep. It's a good zone coverage to take away underneath throws. They're expecting a 5-yard pass because it's 3rd and 5, and most offenses go for the first down, go for the sticks, the first down marker. The Seahawks aren't like that. This is their opportunity to throw deep, and it makes sense because defenses are selling out to stop these underneath throws. So they fake the little screen to the running back, and they want to come back to the tight end here, but he's basically double covered because there's all these underneath defenders. He's right in between 2. So Russell Wilson doesn't throw it, hold on to the ball, rolls left, buys a little time, and he's looking here always. Lockett. That's the guy you got to stop. 3rd down, if Russell Wilson starts scrambling around, he's going to Lockett deep. He's going to do this a couple of times a game, and all he has to do is hit 1. Or maybe 2, because in this game, he hit 1 here and the Saints won. But still, it's a little unorthodox because on 3rd down, most of the time you're thinking, I got to defend this line right here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys defending that line and only 2 deep, and Tyler Lockett runs by him because they're not expecting it. So, Niners have to be prepared for that. I'm going to show you Metcalf 2, week 14, how they use him on 3rd down. It's 3rd and 22. Here. 4th quarter, 9:04, 3rd and 22. Metcalf always on the left. He's going to run a curl route, which is not going to be enough to get the yardage for the first down. But with the Seahawks, it's usually not the first play you have to stop. It's the second play, the play after the play. Drops back wherever he wanted to go. It's not open. He starts scrambling around. This cornerback makes a big mistake. Forgets that the real play starts once Wilson starts scrambling. Runs over to DK Metcalf like the play's over. Metcalf just spins upfield. Not that open. Wilson throws it to him anyway because, like I said, they're looking for 2 or 3 opportunities a game to throw this pass right outside the numbers deep because sometimes he catches it. It's gain of 35. That was 3rd and 22. Niners converted 2 3rd and 16s last week. The Seahawks have the same ability to basically create magic on 3rd and long. Niners got to be prepared for that. Big test for Ahkello Witherspoon, and I think it's actually made to order for him because he has struggled recently on the shallow crossing routes man-to-man, which he's been in a little bit of a bad position a lot of times, trailing the play from the beginning. Saleh calls them runaway routes. This he's gonna be able to use his size and his speed to run with the DK Metcalf down the sideline, pin him against the sideline, and try to beat him to the catch point, get his hand up and hit the ball before Metcalf could jump and catch it. Now let's go red zone. Week 9, Tyler Lockett. There's a specific way they like to use Tyler Lockett in the red zone. Remember, it's their number 1 weapon, but he's small. So how do they use him? 3-807. Here. They do this in a lot of different ways, but this is the main concept of what they do. Once they get in, maybe within 10 yards of the end zone, here they're at the 2. You got trips left, 3 wide receivers to the left, Metcalf, Brown, I believe, or maybe Josh Gordon. And this is Tyler Lockett right here. What they do is by putting him here, he's like so close to the middle of the field. It's what you're giving him what coaches call a two-way go. This cornerback has to defend a route that breaks to the right and a route that breaks to the left, and that's pretty much impossible against an excellent wide receiver like this. So, quick stab with his right foot to the right, breaks back to the left, gets held a little bit, runs away from the guy, catches a perfectly placed pass over his shoulder. He's caught a few touchdown passes like this. This is something that might give the Niners trouble because when they face when they face this type of formation, who's covering Lockett? Is it going to be K'Wan Williams or Jimmy Ward? Because Jimmy Ward will get beat. It's got to be K'Wan. Robert Saleh needs to be real careful with that. If he goes man-to-man in the red zone, you got to make sure it's K'Wan Williams on Lockett, not Jimmy Ward, because Jimmy Ward can't handle that. One more in the red zone. DK Metcalf they try to get on the ball down there, but I think he's only caught 3 passes in the red zone all year. One of them I already showed. He doesn't have the best hands, and he doesn't get open that much. He's really their down-the-field guy. They get creative in the red zone with their usage of fullbacks and tight ends. I want to show you one clip of them throwing to a fullback. You saw Russell Wilson complete a touchdown pass to a tight end week 10. Jacob Hollister hasn't caught a touchdown pass since then. So I'm not going to show you Jacob Hollister. I want to show you Nick Bloor, who used to be a linebacker and special teams guy for the 49ers. Now he's the fullback for the Seahawks. And last week, he caught a touchdown pass on a play that the Niners run a lot. I mean, they run this with a lot of different guys. Juszczyk, Kittle, Sanders, Richie James Jr. Put someone right here at fullback. We've seen it with Kittle. Emmanuel Sanders lined up right here one time against Arizona, caught a touchdown pass. You just fake like you're blocking and run real fast out to the corner. Make this guy commit. Make him think you're blocking. Make him go around you instead of cover you. And you're wide open. It's a cheap, easy way to get 7 points, 6 points. Niners got to be ready for it. And this is the kind of stuff that could really take advantage of the Niners' over-aggression on their defensive line. Screens, things like that, because the Niners are all geared up to rush the quarterback on every single down. That's what that's the philosophy of the wide 9. You play the run on the way to the quarterback. Well, plays like this take advantage of that aggressive mentality. Let's look at Marshawn Lynch, because this I thought was really, really interesting. I mean, it feels like he hasn't played in a long time, right? But he played last year, and he played, I want to say, 6 games. So what did he look like last year for the Raiders? Let's check it out. Thing about Marshawn Lynch, he's had an interesting career because he wasn't good with the Bills, and he wasn't that great with the Raiders. He was fantastic with the Seahawks, and my theory is if you put him in the shotgun with Russell Wilson, it's an impossible pair to stop. Defenses have to honor both of them. That zone read play with both of them just makes Marshawn Lynch so much more effective, and Russell Wilson. So what I'm looking with Marshawn Lynch is his runs from the shotgun. And what I noticed last year with the Raiders, he averaged almost 8 yards a carry from the shotgun and less than 3 yards a carry from under center. So that's my theory, and I think it bears out. He needs the threat of another person in the backfield to take some attention away from him. Otherwise, if he's just the lone tailback, defenses just gang up on him, and he's not as effective. So here he is, week 6 of last season against the Chargers. First quarter. Let's see, where you at? Whoop. Where you at? Come on, buddy. What am I doing wrong here? Average. Okay, hold on. No, this isn't right. This is not right. Week 6. I'm talking All right, whatever. Hold on. Marshawn Lynch, where you at? Here we go. I'm looking for his game against here, week 5. Okay, never mind. Week 5. Sorry about that. All right, here we go. This is it. So, Marshawn Lynch from the shotgun. Sorry to keep you waiting on that. I swear I only have a few more clips. Get you this angle here. So, Marshawn Lynch from the shotgun. This is something the Niners are going to see a lot, or who knows how much they're going to see, but they're going to see it on Sunday. What you notice, look at this little jump cut he makes. This guy's got a shot on him. That jump cut right there is vintage Marshawn Lynch. They did it all the time in Seattle. It's what makes him great. Not just the power, because Chris Carson had that too. Chris Carson's out. This is who Marshawn Lynch is replacing. Chris Carson can't make this jump cut. And I think most people think Marshawn Lynch can't make this jump cut anymore. But he made it last year. This was week 5 last year. It was a little bit more than a year ago. He still got it. And he finished the run with violence and anger, which is his signature. That's a gain of 8. One more, running the other way. Week 4 against the Cleveland Browns. Okay. 723. Here. Okay. This is week 4. End zone cam. Now he's on the left side. Check this out. This is what the Niners have to deal with on Sunday. You're thinking, oh, he's washed up. He's only 33 years old. He hasn't played much the last couple of years. He has fresh legs. And he did this last year. Cuts back immediately, makes 3 guys miss. Makes this guy miss. Now he's got Myles Garrett, the guy who's looking to take off his helmet and hit it with it. But he stiff arms Myles Garrett, finishes the run with anger and violence and aggression. That looks like Marshawn Lynch still. It seems like the same Marshawn Lynch we saw in Seattle in the shotgun. Raiders just didn't really know how to use him and didn't have a mobile quarterback like Russell Wilson to take full advantage of Marshawn Lynch. But still, that's a really good run. Seems like he still has it. My only question with him is his conditioning and his endurance, because if he can do this, if he can run like this 18 times, the Seahawks have a legitimate chance to win. If he can only do this 4 or 5 times, the Niners should win convincingly. I have no idea what to expect from Marshawn Lynch, but I know he can still do that. What is his conditioning and his endurance? Now let's go to the left tackle. This is maybe a bigger issue for the Seahawks. Let me get into Russell Wilson and his sacks, because they've been happening a lot recently. He's got sacked 25 times the last 6 games, I believe. Niners got him 5 times week 10, and that was back when he had his left tackle. Now he's missing left tackle Dwayne Brown. He's out for the year with the knee injury, and they don't even know who they're going to play at left tackle. So I'm going to show you the 2 options they have. Hold on. Okay. First guy is Jamarco Jones. He took over last week after Dwayne Brown went down. This is what it looked like. Jamarco Jones, the replacement left tackle last week, 3rd and 15. Here, left tackle right here. He's going to get help from a tight end, or no, running back. Chris Carson's going to come over here, and they call this chipping the pass rusher. Knocks him over to the inside. Still not enough help for Jamarco Jones, who gives up the inside, knowing he had help to the outside. And Russell Wilson gets sacked. So that's Jamarco Jones. He knows he screwed up. Not a good option. They have another guy, George Fant, that they didn't make their left tackle in this game because he came in as their extra offensive lineman, their tight end, 6th offensive lineman guy, and that's his role. He might be better than this, though. He was their starting left tackle for 10 games in 2016 before he got hurt. Ever since then, he's had a role as a 6th offensive lineman, almost a tight end. So they didn't move him to left tackle on the spot in this game, but now with a week to prepare, they might feel he's their best option. What did he look like in 2016 when he was the starting left tackle? Let's see real quick. One clip of George Fant, who's a good player as an extra lineman. I'm talking week 10, going up against Trey Flowers, who is a very solid defensive lineman, but not a great defensive lineman. Here, 546, George Fant, playing left tackle, 2016, going up against a solid defensive lineman. I mean, no better than Eric Armstead or certainly Nick Bosa. What's it look like? George Fant, 74. Waist bender, lunges forward, slow feet, gives up the sack. There's no good option for the Seahawks. Nick Bosa, if he has anything left in the tank, should have a big game. Same for Eric Armstead. Same for DeForest Buckner. They should all get turns going against whoever's at left tackle. And if they have anything left, Russell Wilson should go down 6 or 7 times. I don't know if the Niners' defensive line has anything left. They're exhausted. So we'll see about that. Finally, I want to show you Russell Wilson because clearly he has an issue with his offensive line, but he also has an issue with himself. He's part of the reason he's getting sacked so much. And you wouldn't think that because he's such an excellent player, but I mean, some people say I nitpick Jimmy Garoppolo. I think I just evaluate him objectively. Well, let's do the same with Russell Wilson, who is an MVP candidate. Week 16, this is last week against Arizona. This sack was his fault. Just like Jimmy Garoppolo runs into some sacks sometimes. Let's look at this one. Hold on, let's look at it from the back this way. So Wilson's going to have time in the pocket. This is 3rd and 11. Metcalf over here is going to be open. And you're going to have Jacob Hollister open for a check down. Okay, not him. Where are we talking? Metcalf right here. Metcalf open right at the sticks. Hollister open for a check down. So he had two options, one on the right, one on the left. Metcalf's the one you want to go to, but he's looking left the whole way. I guess he's looking over here. Anyway, he missed it. But he had 2 options, and instead of throwing to either one, he does this. Here he is. You go here. Metcalf's open over here. He starts running and runs right in to a sack. That's not Jamarco Jones' fault. Jamarco Jones was actually blocking him well. He has to let go at this point, otherwise it's holding. Even right there, it looks like kind of like holding anyway. So that sack's on Russell Wilson, and I got one more to show you because he really hasn't played well since he beat the Niners. His quarterback rating since that game is 90. And he's gotten sacked a lot. So some of it is him. It's not just entirely his offensive line. So where we go? Week 14. Here we go. What are we talking about? No, dude. Wait. Here we go. Okay. Here. This one is the living end. And you really don't expect it from Russell Wilson, but if you think about it, it's his style of play, and it leads to moments like this. So, okay, drops back. No one's open, but look at this. I mean, he's got a clear lane to scramble through, a lot of space. Let's look at it from back over here. Okay, so he could scramble. It's man coverage, so all these people, it looks like it's man coverage. Is it man coverage? Maybe. I mean, look. This guy has his back to Russell Wilson. This guy has his back to Russell Wilson. There's all this space. He could just run forward. 2nd and 10. Doesn't even have to pick up the first down. Get 5. You might get 15. Russell Wilson always wants to get the even bigger play with his arm. Seems like he's almost a little reluctant to run, like he only wants to do it 2 or 3 times a game. So he has this lane. It's wide open. He doesn't take it. He gets greedy. He wants to scramble around in the pocket, run around, and throw. So he stops and runs backward into a sack. That's not the offensive lineman's fault. So Wilson really hasn't played his best the last month and a half. Now he doesn't have his left tackle. Unless Marshawn Lynch saves the day and takes over the game, the Niners should win this one. I'm picking the Niners. Who you picking?